Hi everyone, it's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Moriah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Tokwe Marco Dige. How you doing?
I'm good.
I like the t-shirt.
Yes, grateful. Yeah. I love the affirmations on the t-shirt. I was going to read it out that I am worthy, I am enough, I'm full of life, I am confident, I am talented, I am fearless, I am Tokwe
Mark Dige.
Like,
Give it up.
So
when I saw that shirt, I didn't wear it. I didn't read it. I just wore it once and that was it. I never wore it again. So it was recently, I think it was like last week, and I was just going through my clothes. I was like, and
we all got it, right?
Yeah.
I read it.
I can't find it.
And I just saw
connected with the affirmation.
Wow.
Like,
so I was going to take a picture of her handle, saying I was going to post it and everything, but I just did it. But now that you've done that, remind me.
Thank you for this. We get so many gifts, and sometimes it comes together. We don't really do like appropriate shout out. Somebody gave maybe you Ankaras for us. Like,
oh no, we did a proper shout out for that.
I love those Ankaras.
For me?
Yeah,
no,
the Ankara, the bomb.
Yeah, it was Nima they gave it to.
Yeah.
Like gave it to all of us.
Now, this is one of it.
Yes. So I just want to appreciate everybody that sends us gifts. We appreciate. We said like we feel very honored and loved.
We love you.
I went to the bank yesterday. Somebody in the rain, and the guy came out with the umbrella. The security man said he loves what we're doing on the show. When I was feeling very, very VIP because they did not do that for any other person. So we feel honored and we appreciate you. It makes it worth the time that we do, and some of the bashing we don't mind them because we know that many more love us.
Absolutely,
absolutely. Talking about love, I've been getting lots of love. I mean, it's been my birthday. How many days since? I'm still getting so many messages, and I think people I like it when people say, "I see you, Miriam." Because I get it that I'm not very, I think many people don't understand me.
Yeah.
Yes, so those that say, I get you, I see you, and I see you back, and I thank you, and I see all your lovely messages. And then for those of you that send me gifts, I have never met you, and yet you take the time, your resources to send me gifts. Thank you so, so very much.
Fantastic. That's nice. How you doing,
Awesome. So since we're still talking about love, let's move it a bit to self-care. So I've been doing this self-care series on my podcast, and I just realized that a lot of parents, people who raise children, parents, caregivers, are a bit afraid of self-care because they feel they are not good mothers or good fathers if they have to leave their kids at home and go to the spa to have their massages and all of that. But there's something I realized, that you need to be whole in yourself to be able to give that love to that child. 100%. So if your head is touching in the inside, if you're stressed, you're going to give it to that child, and that child will take from that toxicity. So it's very important that we take our time to take care of us once in a while. Have that me time as a parent. Keep your kids somewhere for a few hours and just rejuvenate, so that by the time they come back to you, you have all the love to give.
Totally right. I mean, I think you're very correct. I'm always at that crossroad of, okay, should I not or should I? Should I not? So it's a good thing. But I think you're doing very well.
Thank you.
I mean, we've seen a lot of new BCs online. The TikTok.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah, the TikTok.
BC is on TikTok.
Like
Mama
is taking over. I mean, see, what I like about you is that you try it all.
Yeah.
You try it all.
Yeah.
And so you can, in the next 10 years, you can say, I tried it all.
Yeah.
So now I've settled for this, but I tried it all.
Yes.
So I think, so I think that's a good thing. And I think a lot of people should learn that from you. That listen, do to be versatile.
Have fun.
Everything. Have fun.
So that's what I say to BC all the time. I said, there's something I like about her is that she'll do it while failing, while figuring
I don't
it
care.
out. A lot of us want to make sure we get it right.
So I like that. Please just be encouraged.
Yeah.
Same thing with Mariam. I like that you're different, you're unique, you're just you, and
Yeah.
you're comfortable in that space.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can be. I can't be anyone else.
We know that you are just very, very...
Her birthday, I said, I tried pushing Mariam. I realized that in our own time, you just she just come out.
Yes.
And you'll be like,
she does.
Wow. Okay, so we
have
love
to
her.
run. We are not over celebrating each other. I'm doing very well. We have to go.
And of course, we know we celebrate you all the time. We love you.
Inspiration.
Like for your birthday, I said that you're the candle that lights other candles.
That was
nothing.
That was like,
when we come,
she's running.
So that's what they're about. You learn to accept compliments.
We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So today we're starting with News Direct. Can you beat that? Yeah. Insecurity, Nigeria to deploy robots, artificial intelligence to fight criminals, says Senate.
Yes, so why you people laughing?
Let me not laugh. FG moves to drive local automotive manufacturers through policies. Dangote contributed 31%, which is about 778.28 million naira of solid minerals revenue in 2019. FEC approves 8.6 billion naira for construction of vaccine laboratory and others. NIPOS EFCC to strengthen collaboration. And Lagos police arrest suspects over killing of Super TV CEO. Okay, let's start with the major headline.
The major story on News Direct. So, the Senate on Wednesday said that the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy has established a Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics to deploy the use of robots and artificial intelligence in combating crime and criminality in Nigeria. So that has been set up already. And they are also saying that the SIM registration has aided them in combating crime because now they can monitor kidnappers who are using it to negotiate their fees. And they said that they have 23 emergency communication centers already with the 112 code. 23 has been commissioned, additional 12 will be commissioned, almost ready for commissioning. And the plan is that by the early 2022, they will have emergency centers in all the states of the Federation so that you can have access for fire service, for the police, anybody that you want to contact. And they deployed it during the COVID-19 era and when the lockdown started, and it helped quite a lot. And they are asking other agencies to ensure that they support this Ministry of Communications with information. For instance, if a crime happens with the SIM card, they should ensure that they tell this Ministry of Communications so that they can ensure that they open up the SIM lines for proper investigation.
Okay,
basically.
I have another story. So the Minister for Finance and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, recently during the commissioning of 3 new automobiles assembly plants by Inosan, she was just saying and just reiterating government support through policies of the manufacturing industry. And, she had so many things to say. Just to say, first, government is supporting that industry as much as it can through policy. But then she says that to inform us that there are about 720,000 demand for vehicles annually in Nigeria. And locally, we can only meet about 15,000 of that demand. So we're importing a lot. So you see why it is important that policies and the right environment has to be, created to boost that particular industry.
Right. Okay, let's move on now to the Punch. Debt servicing rises, gulp 72% of FG revenues. Don't we have that story?
Yes.
Fans attack police as command parades heavily tattooed artist, King of Madness as suspect. Abiodun blames FG as residents tackle governors over Lagos-Abeokuta highway. COVID-19, UNILAG orders students to vacate campus, continues lectures online. We suspect conspiracy in Super TV boss murder, says Commissioner of Police, as 1,320 suspects paraded. Agric subsidy, farmers fault FG, government claims 6 million operators rejected. GTV appoints Olusoya, first female managing director. Okay, let's start with the human interest story.
Yes,
King of Madness.
Yeah, so the Lagos State Police Command arrested an artist who identified himself as King of Madness. They paraded him among the 1,320 suspects by the state commissioner on Wednesday. And according to the story, they said he was arrested while he was in an Uber, and the police stopped the Uber and took him out. They left the Uber man to go, and at the time he was on his way to Lekki around 10:45 p.m. to perform at an event. And so they told him they were going to take him to the DPO. By the time he got there, he was arrested, and he was still trying to understand what happened when he saw that they paraded him. So his name is Uche, and people are coming out to say that we know this guy. He lives around that area. He's just heavily tattooed because he's an artist. He has always been like that from secondary school. He's always liked to, do very crazy things. But he's a regular guy. We know him. They presented his Instagram account. The police in the area said that they know him. He's a popular guy. They know the car he drives. And they didn't find anything incriminating. So people are asking the police to release him. He's not a criminal. He's carrying tattoo on your body somebody now a criminal act.
Right.
So I think
okay, I was going to take this story about because recently I've been talking about Ogun State, the fact that residents are complaining about the roads. So interestingly, angry residents of Ado Odo-Ota local government area stopped the governor's convoy on his way and insisted that he tell them why he has failed to fix the roads for them. And he said that he has several times reached out to the federal government to give him approval to hand over that road to him to fix, and they have not been able to do so. But it was just interesting that residents could stop his convoy. Say, you know what?
Answer us.
Interesting. That's not the right way to do, but it was interesting. But I'm happy he came down. He pleaded with the residents to exercise patience, pending when his administration would find a solution to the problem after speaking several times to federal government, and maybe we'll help them reach out to the minister of
I feel like,
Works and Housing
to
help us.
Accessible.
So this is somebody we can talk to. So we'll also help you follow up and find out Minister
what's happening here.
But I also go ahead.
No, the picture story.
I just wanted to add that it's important that we know the right people to hold for different things.
Anyway, so the picture story is really about the police force and how much work that they're doing. And recently, I think you mentioned in the story just took about over 1,300 suspects for different crimes were arrested. And then he also gave the update on the Chidinma story, and says that there's a conspiracy theory that she's being maybe treated differently, and the police force is trying to sweep this under the carpet, but that they are working hard, and that every person or every criminal has their human rights are meant to be protected in the Constitution, and they're doing that, but they are strongly on this case, and they have arrested other suspects as regards this case.
Right.
So,
wow. I didn't take the farmer's story. Okay. So agri subsidy, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development on June 17 announced, the minister Sabo Nano announced that they are registering all the farmers in Nigeria. They started by trying to register 2.5 million naira, but 2.5 million people. And based on the response they got, they've increased the number to 10 million. So far, they said they've registered 6 million farmers with their location, what they produce, the volume they produce, and their bio data. However, the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, the federal one, the president is Andrew Kwas. No, his name is Ibrahim. Said that he is unaware of registration, and he is the president of All Farmers Association of Nigeria. He's not aware of registering farmers. He also mentioned that the Lagos State chapter of the Farmers Association also said they were not aware that how did they register 6 million, and they, the president, and their team of farmers that they do meeting regularly were unaware that don't pay subsidy to farmers. What we really need to address is the insecurity that is causing food prices to skyrocket because farmers cannot go to the farm and products is not coming out. That don't pay subsidies to them, that people we don't know. That are suddenly being registered online to the tune of 6 million as farmers, and we don't know. So please, Ministry of Agriculture, work hand in hand with registered association of farmers so that we don't spend money into the wrong things. We don't even have the money right now.
Damn, you took that story like you were there.
She's a farmer.
We can see. She's a farmer. It's not the story that you just read.
I don't understand though.
Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Moving on now to Vanguard. Transmit polls results where feasible, Senate report says. PIB, governors to engage National Assembly, NEC, back on bundling, commercialization of NNPC. UNILAG shuts hostels indefinitely, says lecturers will continue online. My health is deteriorating. I may die in detention, Nnamdi Kanu tells court. 2021 UTME mass failure claims exaggerated, says Oloyede. Alleged crimes against humanity, we acknowledge your petition, ICC tells Akintoye, Igboho, others. Why Emily was my best friend, says Dr. Winifred Awushika. Kuka to U.S. Congress, FG helpless, not interested in dealing decisively with bandits and insurgents. Okay, which story are we taking?
Let me start with the major headlines. So, bowing to pressures. When I read the recommendation, I felt like people in the National Assembly watched our show where we were clamoring for the fact that the transmission of electronic voting should be based on capacity. So now, the committee on INEC has agreed that in the bill that will be approved, that will be passed today, that they would include that where practicable, electronic transmission
can hold.
Yes. As in, it felt like somebody just watched our show anyway. I know many people also clamored for it, but I'm happy that this was done. Wow. The report also included that the voting will be done electronically within places where it can be done. So where practicable, go ahead. So it's no longer expunged. But the Senate President was taking it very personal, saying that people were attacking him and the Senate because they removed the bill, that they were trying to compromise the election. And that's not true. The goal of the Senate is to do what is practicable.
How do you define practicable? How? What makes it electricity? Is it the population? What exactly?
No, there are states that have capacity to carry out the electronic voting. Maybe they have electricity, like you have mentioned. They have people. They have technology.
The main issue of the person that pushed that was speaking against the electronic voting was because of
poor areas where
there's no network.
Yeah, there's no
internet network.
Okay, because for me, I'm really afraid it sounds so ambiguous, because someone may just come out and say, well, it's not, we don't have electricity, or all the technology. So how are we going to do it?
So Lagos can handle this. I expect that some areas, because one of the reasons, what's the objective, right? We want to reduce malpractice, right? Malpractice. So I would say that in certain areas there's a possibility that there'll be malpractice done where they're still doing it manually and transmitting manually. So what if we now, from that local government where they don't allow transmission electricity,
there's now 100% election, like everybody that registered voted.
Easily rigged. I mean, these are debatable, but you know what, we'll see. There are a lot more questions to be asked.
So the registrar of the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, Professor Loyede, is saying that the poor performance in the students' recent results is more like exaggerated and misplaced, that's not really what happened. But now it's becoming obvious that students who are prepared illegally, for instance, before the examination started, they had people who were selling fake results, fake JAM questions, fake results, and some parents fell victim and bought for their children. So by the time they got into the exam hall, they realized that it was not the same questions that they had bought. So it's time for
Expo.
Yeah, it's time for the government now to pay attention to the quality of preparation of students who are planning to get into the university, and also the fact that they also linked the SIM registration to the NIN has also reduced the number of people who come in and write exams for others. So they are doing a lot to ensure that the quality of education is improved, because that is the future of the country, basically.
Okay, let's talk about the Yoruba Nation. So the leader of Ilana Omo Odua, Professor Banji Akintoye, Yoruba activist Sunday Igboho, and 49 others have disclosed that they filed a 27-page petition to ICC, and ICC have since acknowledged receipt of their petition and said that it has been duly entered into the communications register of the office, and they will give it some kind of consideration as appropriate. So I think that's pretty much the information. Okay.
Bishop Matthew, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto, Most Reverend Matthew Coker, mentioned while speaking, he was addressing Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission in Washington, D.C., and he spoke about the fact that the presidency is not, that the North, even the whole country, is invaded by armed bandits, kidnappers, who attack communities at will, and the government seems helpless and even uninterested in dealing decisively with these people, as led to the confusion that many Nigerians live in palpable fear, and the tension across the country. The whole lot more needs to be done.
Moving on quickly to Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story of not taking years. Nigeria needs $100 billion yearly for 30 years to close infrastructure deficit, says African Development Bank. 8th Senate Health Security Summit, Saraki replies Buhari. 2 soldiers killed as an attack on military location in Enugu. Senate reps to consider reports today. Ondo tops FG's fiscal transparency rating, gets World Bank grant. Supreme Court stops FG from ceding 17 oil wells to Imo. And FEC okays 309.9 billion naira road contract for Dangote as tax credit.
Major story?
Major headline.
Yeah, so the African Development Bank have said that Nigeria needs $100 billion annually for the next 30 years if we want to close the infrastructural deficit in the country. And one of the advice they've given is that it's time for the government to create an enabling environment for public-private partnerships to close this infrastructure gap. And they also said that they have supported the government so far. They have given $256 million and $200 million in the Nigerian Transmission Expansion Project, and that's the electricity sector. And they've also supported with $430 million for the Enugu-Bameda road link. They also have plans to get into agriculture and other aspects of the economy, but what Nigeria needs to do is to ensure that it promotes commercialization and privatization, and it should not just be a transaction. They should have a legal framework that makes it more beneficial to the people.
Right. Yeah, so I have the former president of the Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki, responding to the claim by the presidency as spoken by Femi, by the spokesperson for the presidency, where he said that the 8th Assembly did not do anything about organizing a security summit to tackle the challenges, of security in the country. And so the former Senate president said that this claim is misleading and unfounded. He said, actually, even without the prompting of the presidency, on the 8th of February, 8th to the 12th of February 2018, there was a 2-day summit, a security summit, and it was well attended and, issues well discussed. That is important. Yes, everybody has an opinion, but it's also important for those representing the presidency and taking information to the public to check before they make
I would say the Federal Executive Council meets every Wednesday, and 2 things happened in this meeting. One, Dangote got a tax credit of 309 billion naira, which is going to be used to do concrete construction of roads in a few areas. Not because I was wondering 309 billion. So, but there are many roads. He said this is like the biggest, Minister Fashola said this is like the biggest project that is getting to a private individual. Bama to Banki in Borno State, it's about 49 kilometers. Dikwa to Gambo, Ngala, it's about 49 kilometers in Borno State. The Nnamdi Azikiwe Road, popularly known as Western Bypass in Kaduna State, another 21 kilometers. The Deep Sea Access Road in Lagos State, all of which are concrete roads, are being given to Dangote's construction company to do concrete roads within those areas, covering, you won't have to pay
United States of Dangote.
Tax, he won't pay his taxes. But the Ministry of Health is celebrating that they've approved 8.6 billion for procurement of HIV/AIDS test kits.
Yes, and they're building vaccine laboratories also.
And then NAFDAC is getting extra funding for that.
Daily Sun, very quickly, PIB South loses bid for 5% trust fund. Nnamdi Kanu health deteriorating, says IPOB. COVID-19, UNILAG orders students to vacate hostels. Gunmen kill 2 soldiers, policemen. Football manager burned 3 vehicles in Enugu and Anambra. World Finance Magazine names Zenith Nigeria's best commercial bank. That's Zenith Bank. Okay, Nnamdi Kanu has said that his health is deteriorating. He said he has filed an application before the federal court in Abuja saying that he needs to be given access to his doctors because obviously his health is failing and he's scared that he might die in detention. So his lawyers are asking for access to see his doctor, for him to be able to see his doctors as soon as possible. IPOB also is saying, they're also echoing this and saying that they should please allow him to be able to have access to his doctor because he's critically ill and he needs that.
Yeah, okay, so PIB, the South, it says we remember the 5%, 3% difference in what host communities were asking for as revenue that comes to them. And we know that the House of Rep had passed for 5%, but the Senate for 3%. And so because of that issue, they had to have like the principal officers now decided amongst themselves that they be allowed to vote, because usually they do not vote. And in doing that, the final decision came to the 3%, as wanted by as reported as wanted by the northern lawmakers. You know, the southern lawmakers pushed for the 5%, but they said northern lawmakers pushed for 3%. And in allowing those principal lawmakers to make their vote, what had happened is that it made it just easier for the northern counterparts to get the 3% that they wanted. So here we are. I don't know what happens after now, if this is something that we
have to
run.
Yes,
Unfortunately, Unilag story quickly. Yeah. So yesterday, we talked about the fact that the Unilag institution had suspected that the third wave of COVID-19 had come into the school environment. Right now, they have confirmed 7 students who tested positive for the COVID-19. And the way the thing is spreading, they have asked all the students to go home before 12 noon today.
But they're not sure if it's the Delta, though. They just know it's COVID-19.
Yes, they are not sure it's the Delta. So, but they are going to continue their schooling online from the 26th of July. And they are asking people to ensure that you keep follow the protocols of COVID-19 to be safe, but the school environment is going to be closed, and some students have been taken to isolation centers already, those who came down.
We saw online.
Let's
Delta
go.
variant has made them close down.
Let's go on a break now. When we come back, it's Thursday. We'll move on to our hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So recently we lost a Nigerian singer, songwriter, rapper, actor, and movie producer, Olarinwaju Fasasi, popularly known as Sound Sultan. Now when that happened, many Nigerians and even those in diaspora, celebrities, all took to the social media pages, posting pictures of him and writing tributes, which was well appreciated by loved ones and family. But unfortunately, this didn't go down well with some people who felt that, especially celebrities, who felt that when this man was alive, he wasn't well celebrated. Why are we now all celebrating him after death? Now, the question is it appropriate to celebrate somebody after death? Or is it better, of course it's better to celebrate them before death, but how best do you celebrate somebody after death, especially when you probably weren't involved in their lives before death? What are your thoughts on this? We address the practice of celebrating the dead more than the living. Why does it look like we appreciate people more when they're gone? You can also call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also send us messages on YouTube, and Facebook will be happy to read your comments. All right, so a lot of people talked about this issue on various platforms. Everybody's been talking about it, and it's like the topic of the season. But I said, until your view talks about it, it hasn't really been talked about.
Exactly.
but
with all sense of humility.
Yeah, we
do, right?
But the truth is, somebody was saying that, listen, there's a place for last respects. Yes, I'm not in your life, but I have the right to say, okay, let me pay my last respects to you. But family and friends say, well, you didn't do that while he was alive. So in your view, what do you think, what's the right thing to do?
Okay. I can start. So I hear this conversation a lot of times, and many times we've discussed it. So there are two things, the way I see it. There's the one where your close family members, your friends, and you don't seem to either visit or talk to each other, or even parents and children. Children are not involved in their parents' life because they're so old and they're in the village, and then until they die, you throw this huge celebratory funeral. Where they spend so much money that would have gone a long way in helping with the parents' health, or living well. That is on one hand, and that's in that place I feel that is wrong to to spend so much money celebrating someone when they are dead, when you could have done so much more when they are alive. That's one. Now, secondly, there's the part of someone like Sound Sultan and many celebrities, where you don't expect people that are not close to them the only way that they can show their respects while they are living and they are dead is to come on social media and talk about it. So I celebrate his life because I enjoy his music. I buy his music. When I talk to my friends about him, I say, oh, he's such a good person. And then when he dies, I go on my social media page and I pay my last respects. Because that's the only way someone like me who does not have a personal relationship with him would be able to. And in that case, you appreciate that gesture. Many times Nigerians have been called out for paying last respects to Michael Jackson. Some Nigerians will cry for Kobe Bryant. You know, we tend to criticize Nigerians that do that. And then when our own now passes on and we want to show him love, you are now also criticizing us that why are you showing him love now when he was not alive? But when he was alive, I listened to his music, I loved him, and when he came on the show, I even had a picture of he and I that reposted, and he reposted it too and sent me a message, and I felt really cool, you know.
So, but I think from the angles people are talking about is when colleagues, celebrities who hear that, oh, he's sick, and don't bother to reach out. Suddenly he passes on, and everybody's now doing, oh yes, our colleague has passed, he was a good guy. That's how I interpreted the criticism. But in your view, what do you think about this issue?
Okay, so for me, I believe that nobody should criticize anybody for celebrating someone. Let's not take away from the fact that a human being has passed on and he's been celebrated for a life that was good. We might not have appreciated the way the person celebrated. Whatever it is, you shouldn't be criticized. That's first. Two is, most of the time in Nigeria, we feel the only way we can appreciate someone is by giving them money. Like, there is a case of, oh, you people did not help financially, and they are usually GoFundMe for health issues. He didn't even put his health challenges out. Yeah. But for those that do, when they now move on, people still criticize that, why are you celebrating their life when you did not help them when they were not alive? Actually, she could have been praying. She could have been supporting in other ways by sharing. But it doesn't have to be financial. I don't need to be your best friend to appreciate you. Yes. I don't need to talk to you every day to appreciate you. I might never have spoken to you before, but I've watched you and I appreciate what you've done. And if anything happens and I see that, I would feel hurt, and I'm allowed to celebrate that person. So I don't like cyberbullying, and what the comments that bashed celebrities and people that were celebrating him, for me, was a similitude of cyberbullying. If somebody comes online to celebrate, let them celebrate.
Yeah.
If they
it's their celebration.
It's their celebration. They should do it. And while we are alive also, it's important that we are not so consumed with. There was something I used to do, and for me, for a long time, the reason I stopped it is because it did not allow me freely post other people's content. You know, I was arranging my Instagram page, which meant, oh, video, picture, clinical, video, picture. So if people post something for me, I'm like, I cannot post it for you. I was doing that, and at a point in my life, I just felt like, really, what is this social media thing? You want the page to have a grid, it should look fine. Do what you want to do freely. Don't be stuck in a box because you're trying to achieve a look. Some celebrities are in that space, so they don't help other people because they feel like they are arranging their life.
Let me pause for a second, because the question I was trying to propose to Mariam was that colleagues, so you and I don't know Sound Sultan closely, so we want to celebrate him as a fan. Okay, he passed on. We'd like to post him and just honor him out loud
on social media.
But colleagues, people that are in the same industry with him, people that he sees, they see at parties, they hang out. I'm someone that I've heard that he was sick. Nobody called out to him, reached out to him. And then now that he's passed on, they're out posting. That's one end. Even those who reached out almost had to prove to us and show us evidences
that they reached out.
That, you know, like,
why?
Was that necessary for that? Let me show that I chatted with him. Me and him are very close. So that person obviously felt pressured by society to show that.
And that's why I feel like they celebrate anyhow they want to celebrate.
I think that we expect a lot from people.
So much.
We need to learn how to reduce and limit our expectations of other people. You only have control of what you can do as a human being. Now I want to go to the issue of the colleagues. Sometimes we assume that
people,
yes, a colleague is a friend, that's one. Other times we forget that people have their own personal issues that they are going through. They have jobs too, they have bills, they have things that except you come to their consciousness, they may not remember you. So the other day I was in the house, I was having a conversation with we're talking about laptops, and I remembered one girl that sold my HP laptop to me a few years back. She had issues. I did some coaching. When I just finished my coaching classes, I did some coaching free of charge for her and all of that. She just came to my consciousness, and I was like, hey, I haven't spoken to her in years. I don't know how she's doing. So I picked up my phone, and I said, hello, how are you doing? Because it came to my consciousness. Now, if something had happened to that girl, people would have said, did you check on her?
Yeah.
Did you do this one? Yeah. Did you do that? I am busy. I would not remember, no matter how close we are, I will not. Sometimes I don't even say hello to Miriam for weeks, except we see on the show. Because so one day I'll just remember, I've not called. Hey, let me just check.
That's
so let's not put. I'm sorry, but life happens to all of us, and it happens to us here. You don't call when you travel. You don't call when you are away for 1 week. You see, and we are colleagues. So let us understand that people have things they are dealing with, and everybody tries to make a conscious effort to be a good human being. But it's a process, and understand people, empathize with people. Don't take it personally, especially if you do not come to the person to say, I needed help. Help me. Sometimes you need something, but you're not speaking out. How do I know that you need money for medical health and all? Let's calm down, please.
When we come back, we'll talk about pleasing society, because
that's where I want to go.
We're trying to please everybody to show that we're doing this.
We're nice people.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still talking about celebrating the dead more than the living. And we're talking about pleasing society. So before the break, I was saying that people always feel the need to show that, let them not say that. Let them not say that I'm not celebrating more. So they now go extra. I had an issue with that. And I felt that, is it necessary? What do we need to prove to people? Why do we need to prove to people that I know this person, or that I was there for him when he was alive? Was that necessary, Mariam?
It's a Nigerian culture. And it's a Nigerian culture that I'm not a part of. I'm proudly not a part of. And when I find myself sleeping, I thank God for my support system that remind me, don't ever do anything for the eyes of the public, so that they will thumbs you up, and tomorrow that same thing will go down. Do it because it comes from your heart, because this is who you are. And then if you have done something wrong, acknowledge, oh yes, I should have contacted this person more. I should have spoken to this person, but it went off my head. I did not remember. You all know. You don't owe the public any explanation about how your conversations with this person, your relationship with that person was personal. It's none of their business. They have their own personal relationships. You're not there questioning their personal relationships. And that is why many people, are called hypocrites for many reasons. Because you only do things when you think you get the applause.
I said carry me.
You want people to just love you. Oh, look at what I've done. Have you seen what I've done today? And people love you and they follow you or whatever, and they call you good names. And then the day they call you, the same mouth.
That's it, yeah.
That same mouth, the same lips. They will
tear it to shreds.
So just do
Let
it
me
for
take this
yourself.
call from Bright. Bright, are you there? Hello, Bright.
Yes, I'm with you.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Thank you for bringing up this topic. I think I have a different perspective to it.
Okay.
Yes, people should be remembered while they are alive, not when they are dead. I'll come from the angle of the one that she says people for funeral. I've always been saying this. It doesn't make sense to me, somebody you never take care of when they were alive, and then when they die, you spend so much million to bury them. For me, it's brainless. So for me, I've said this to myself. Treat people when they are alive, so that even you yourself will have peace when they pass. For Sound Sultan, I'm not close to him, but I like his music. But generally, the places I have issues with the industry as a whole is the fact that majority of the time, we see the life they live on social media. We see the things they portray. We see the cars. We see the house. And then when they fall sick and anything happens, then they complain that people don't get to them. I remember years back, Julius Ago had been having brain tumor when he was operated in London. And I remember that he said that quite a lot of people he helped, some of them backed up. They were not showing up for him. I think it's right time we start preaching for them to start having health insurance. You can get yourself a $3,000 health insurance that can give you a $2 million coverage all over the world, except the U.S.
Thank you very much, Bright. So let's talk about the issue of bearing parents, because Yoruba culture, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, there is what's the word I'm looking for?
Befitting.
A befitting burial shows everybody that the dead was a successful person, that she raised me well. She took me to the best schools. I got a job. I am successful. So you are honoring your father or your mother when you give them a befitting burial. So people might, I'm just trying to understand.
That's the culture.
The rationale for
behind
giving that kind of grand burial, it should show community that this person was a great person. So but why would we therefore interpret that as spending more money on them when they are dead than when they are alive?
So there's a Yoruba saying that when you have a good child that succeeds you, or you have a good succession line, you have a grand, they bury you in grand style. So that's like a cultural thing. It's not a bad thing if a person is buried in grand style, if they lived a grand life.
Yes.
You know, so did your parents live a grand life to merit a grand style burial?
Okay.
If you didn't give your parents a grand life, then don't give them a grand burial, because you should have given them a grand life. So for me, I am in that space where there is nothing my parents would ask me. Like like my parents don't even worry me, but they know that if they're asking anything, I would break my back to get it done, because I carry the responsibility of they don't have any other person to ask. I'm my only child. And so, like I can say, mommy, go and ask this person. But I also understand the fact that many people will feel like because you have just one, you might suffer for it. I don't want them to ever think that. I want them to be thankful that I have one. No, God has used this one to show up for me. So I have that responsibility to take care of them in my life. But I have prepared myself. I have not had a conversation with them yet, too, that their burial is going to be very, very low key. Because for me, I have showed up for them while they are alive.
That is the most
so
important.
I'm not compelled to let anybody. I know most of these grand style burials are for people to know that I showed up for my parents. I have money. I had like 5 artists and everybody has different kind of. There's no need for that. Me, I'm not going to do it.
How would they know that you're successful?
I
they must know that talk back or dig them So I think it's called be second to you. Alright, someone's holding for Mushi. Are you there? Alaita. Oh, I can't hear you. Go ahead, Bisi.
I think we always live for what people will say. And okay, he's here.
Oh, hello.
I want to contribute on what you guys are saying.
Please, go ahead. You're live.
See, the Nigerian population, especially the youth population, we have a particular problem now called opinionity, because they don't find the cure for it. Anything we don't even know about, just always want to have opinion about it. Sincerely. Especially things like the death of Sound Sultan. Most people, they were talking based on what they don't know about this particular man. When this information came out then, I guess 2 months ago, that he's suffering from cancer or whatever, people, the celebrities, were praying for him. Were saying that they wish him well, the surgery of the procedures is embarking on to be successful, things like that. And now people are coming out to say another thing, that people were not there for him, they didn't wish him well, things like that. It is very wrong, So
I think he's commenting about people diagnosing his health, talking about what they don't know, talking about his health condition and all of that online.
So I wanted to say that we live our lives based on what people would say, how people will rate us, because society has given us an expectation and everybody's struggling and trying to meet it. So if you're a successful child and you have tried your best to take care of your parents while they are alive and you decide to do a flamboyant burial, that's fine. The one that hurts my spirit is the one that I know that is malaria that killed these parents because they did not have money to buy medicine. Hunger killed these parents. This parent had been under, whether it's high blood pressure or arthritis or something, and no medication. And then the person dies, you go around borrowing. It's not like you're successful. You borrow money into millions because you want to buy car, you want to call a musician, you want to make that burial, very flamboyant. This is what we need to stop. as a society, because we ourselves are the ones that even, you know, make them do this. So you come there and look, see the casket, this one that is 50,000, see the ashwebi that they are wearing, see this one, see that one. And so you put these people...
Let me shock you. This example you are saying, do you know that it is easier for a man to raise money for his dead mother
than for his sick mother?
Sick mother.
Why are you raising money for a dead person?
No, people will support. The giver will give because the mother is dead. They will not give my mother is sick.
Is that not wickedness?
No, it's a communal wickedness. That's what Mariah is saying.
It's all wicked. So that person would have gone to meet Mr. John. Please help me. My mother is sick. I'll get back to next week. But when the mother dies,
the money will
show me support.
Wow.
That's the truth of society.
Yeah. So we have a lot to do as a society to start sanitizing some of these things, because they have not served us. So why do I want to show up for you when the person has died, when I could have helped to keep that person alive? Why? What's the rationale behind it? Because I want to show that I was there for you, I came, I supported, and all of that. We need to, as a society.
Do you know, we even do it to part of government. I remember a particular government that said that the security force that were given to them, they give it to members of their cabinet who have passed on. They give it to the families. I think that is how ingrained in our system this is, that we use security funds to pay for funerals. And give family members of those who have passed
instead of securing what
I can't remember what state it was.
I think it was Kogi State.
So let's go on a break, because I'd like to take some messages. I'm sure we have messages already.
We'll look for.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll take some messages and more phone calls. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still talking about spending more for the dead than the living. Let's take a few comments.
Okay, Kiola Sahid says, what if Sound Sultan didn't want his state of health to be made public, just not to be a topic of decision and controversies like that of normal loss and OJB? He might just want to spend his last moments peacefully with his family and not create a controversy for his family after his death. May his soul rest in peace. Amen. Ramota Mataya said, if we don't take care of people, someone close to us when they are alive, no need for a money rain celebration and burial after death. Andrew Ishedam said, my dad before he passed, said we should not bury him spending any money needlessly. He just said, bury me and don't spend money you cannot afford.
Festus says, okay, go ahead. We must not be too busy not to check on one another regularly. Checking on one another regularly is one of our unique support systems in Nigeria. Adebayo Adebare says, our culture celebrates the dead and the living. If a person is sick, you hardly see people around him or her. People will give different reasons for not showing up to help financially, but when the person is dead, even family and friends from abroad will come home to give a befitting burial by spending thousands or millions in the name of showing last respect. It is a very wrong way of reason.
Let me take this call from Magodo. Yinka, are you there?
Yes, I'm with you. Good
You're
morning.
live. Go ahead, please.
I really appreciate the topic you guys brought up this morning. Honestly, in Nigeria, we don't appreciate people while they are still very much alive. Good morning. Thank you very much.
Don't listen to the TV.
I really appreciate the topic you are bringing up this morning. You know, in Nigeria, people don't appreciate each other when they are still very much alive. Having said that, I need to explain one certain thing about Sound Sultan. To me, I didn't even know he was sick. I didn't know anything about him, because even after this COVID-19, everybody are down on the road, busy doing one thing or the other. Nobody has time to start checking on social media, except people who are addicted to social media or all these news around. I was so shocked. It was a rude shock to me when I heard that place. So I would say that I believe that people should learn to take care of the living. I celebrated him when he was still alive. Even other people too, I celebrated them. But when they are gone, glory be to God. Don't appreciate people while they are still alive. Greet them on their birthdays. Appreciate them when they give birth. When they do anything good, congratulate them. And let it be. Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Nika. There are two stories that I had. One person who was a Muslim, he already had his graveside ready. He already got everything done.
Before dying.
Before dying. His graveside, because his wife had died many years ago, so he had his wife's graveside there. He put his own next, and he put his second wife's own right afterwards. So, once they died, next day, he was there. There was only 8 days after, we just came there to come and just, pay our last respects. Also, I told you another one who's a Christian, before he died, he already put together a committee who's going to handle his burial. He already paid for his coffin. He paid for where he was going to be buried. He already told them exactly what he wanted to wear. He picked who, you the treasurer, you are the organizer. He already put together a committee that's going to handle his last respect. So immediately after he died, everybody activated Daddy's plan.
Yeah. That's a blessing. You know, that's a blessing that you can say you can organize your home before you go. That's a blessing. Not everyone gets to pass that way. Sometimes it's sudden. But I also remember my grandma saying to us that don't leave me in the morgue for more than a week. I give people a week. Organize yourself. Then secondly, the only other thing was that we did like a hymn book, because every time she would go for a funeral, she used to keep those books. So we just did that for her. And, it just puts the pressure off you, knowing that even the person that you want to do all this did not ask for it.
So maybe our the elders amongst us should have this kind of conversation. So, because
my father told me that everything you want to spend, let me eat it now that I'm alive. So make sure you take care of him. Yes, my real father. Make sure. So now that he's alive, I'm doing my best to take care of him. He wants a car, I give it to him. He wants this, so that he's okay. And he has told me that he doesn't want to have an elaborate burial. He wants to have the Christian burial. But I think he has not sorted that out well, because he's a chief. So I'm sure those people are going to give me problems. Yes. So when I talk to him again, I'll say, tell them that you are renouncing them. I don't want to come there on that day and they'll give me wahala. Also, some people don't like to discuss their deaths because they are afraid it may come close. So we have another family member, my father-in-law, he doesn't want to die. He's still praying that he will carry my last baby's grandchild. So yes, he doesn't want to die at all. So we want to discuss. We want to we want to discuss certain issues because of the peculiarity of where he is from, but he doesn't want to have that conversation. And I'm telling my husband, hold him to settle some things so that we don't go through that stress.
Let me take this call from the UK. Toyin, are you there? Hello, Toyin. Hello.
Morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, with Sound Sultan, I knew him personally. I grew up with him in Satellite Town. He's always been a private person. So he would have loved to be celebrated while he was alive.
Yes.
On his social media feeds, I think the last thing he posted a song about being celebrated while you are alive, not when you would have been, not when he died. Your topic is what hope is. A lot of the Nigerian culture of things. I think it's meant to change. People are not celebrated when we are alive, and every day everybody tends to know you. We grow up together, we know everybody tends to come around you at that point. But
thank you, Toyin. The UK network is not working very well today. Thank you very much. That's your network.
It's not our side.
No, it's definitely UK network.
I want to talk about culture because, BC went there, and I've heard someone whose parents, the surviving mother was like, please, there's no need for spend money. But the family members, and they have to bury in the village, family members are saying, no, you must bring goats for this rite, there's this traditional rite, there's this one, there are people that, these are our tradition, and you must do it, which now puts a lot of pressure on the children who probably would have been willing to do a more low-key thing. And I think we need to have conversations like this so that even the people in the villages and traditional people would understand that things have changed and we must be willing to change along.
He's left the family behind, right? So I also lost my dad when I was really young. He has young children and a young wife. And for me, I feel that it's important for those who love him to do all that they can, whatever contributions it is that you have, whatever time or effort it is that you have, resources that you have, put it towards the children he's left behind. If you're a group of friends, set up a trust fund for these children. So that, because we know that life happens and you may not be in their lives as closely as, you know.
Right.
So do something that you can for him right now. Put monies together for that family that they have something to draw from. This is a widow in Nigeria. And we know how that is. And we just hope that she has a good job, that she's able to take care of her family.
The burial happened in New Jersey. I think it's
Yes, I think it was abroad when it happened.
So I'm happy that she's abroad. So at least, you know,
Those
she can
do everything.
protect her. But as I wrap up on this, I know my father died in 2005, and he was a public figure. He was the former president of the Nigerian Bar Association. So this is somebody that, yes, whether you like it or not, the burial will be grand.
Yes.
And it was. But you see, one thing that I can hold my chest up, that while he was sick, I was there. I fed him, I cared for him, I did everything I was supposed to do for him. All my resources, myself, my siblings, all our resources were used to take good care of my father. So when he finally died, even though there was a lot of razzmatazz going on, I knew that he told you that what was important had been done.
You had done it.
And every other thing was just. So I think as we wrap up on this, what is important is that we should care for our family, no matter how small it is. And even if we don't, and we feel bad about it and the person dies, make sure that the people he left behind, we as a people also support them. So you were not there while he was alive, but your father had people he used to care for. He had a foundation he used to, was committed to. He had a church building they were part of. You know, something your father was part of. Just support that thing. It shows, it gives you that kind of respect, final respect to him. So we can celebrate them both when they're alive and also after they passed. I think we can wrap up on this. When we come back, move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Baby Live returns. Yeah, Daddy 15, the vaccine edition, taking place on the 25th of July at the prestigious Eko Hotel and Suites, Lagos. Time at 6 p.m. Comedy vaccines by Dr. Destoka, Dr. Igo Save, Dr. Kororo, Dr. Dan the Humorous, Dr. Buchi, Dr. Tamama, and many more physicians. Music vaccines by Nigeria's music superstars. And on the wheels, your host, Ash Debe. For reservation and sponsorship, please call 0802-990-6500. Please note, this event is for a limited audience with all COVID-19 protocols duly observed. Proudly supported by New Age Charger and TVC Max FM. Packaged by Larry Mako Events. Get vaccinated.
Thanks for staying with us. So moving on to other topics. So, Toyin Lawani's husband, Segun Wealth, recently explained why he moved into his wife's mansion. According to him, his wife owns a big mansion with a vast space, and that she is not ready to leave her luxurious home to come and stay with him in a 3-bedroom apartment. So do you agree with him? Is there any big deal in a husband moving into his wife's house after marriage? Does our culture support this idea, or does it work against it? What are your thoughts on this? As always, we don't want to talk about Toyin Lawani or Segun Wealth. Our focus is on the issue of a man saying, because my wife has this lovely, luxurious house and home, it makes better sense for me to move in with her. Or do you think, because you're an African man and you're a Nigerian man, what would Kaye Sokwe that you enter your wife's house? That shouldn't it be that she, even no matter how rich, come to your own level and live with you? Isn't that the right thing to do? What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, because we're still back to the issue of listening to what people will say and what society will say. And I believe culture is a way of life. There's a general culture, but as you have a family, you have a home, you start creating your own culture and what works for you. I remember when I got married and my husband said, my father has a very big house in Lagos. I'm not going to rent a house when we have a house. It will be a waste of money. I want to gather my money so that I can build my own. I don't want to be paying for rent, and by the time the kids come, I start paying fees, rent, everything. It will be too much. If I can sort out rent, 50% of my problem in Lagos is over. So what happened? I got a job, and the job gave me an apartment and my husband moved, swallowed his pride, moved and stayed with me in that cubicle. And today, we are better for it. So people would always walk...
better for it. How many houses do you have?
I don't want to mention that on live TV. But people need to start taking the steps that work for them, not what society has said. A man is a man irrespective. Can I love you? Can I respect you? Can I give you that honor? Can I be submissive to you? That's what makes you a man. Not whether you are staying in my house or I'm staying in your house. For God's sake, are we not one? It's our house. Once we're married, it's our house.
Let me come to you. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so first of all, he has done the almost un-Nigerian thing. Because what we would normally hear is that there is fire on the mountain because this man has refused to move into mansion and he wants our glamorous glamazon, lady to move into this three-bedroom flat that sometimes water comes, sometimes electricity, So he has done what many people would not do and what we're not used to. And for me, it just shows a particular mindset. He seemed, maybe a lot more exposed, but also knowing the sort of person that we're talking about, that woman has built her wealth. There's a certain sort of person, too, that you would want to... you have to be a certain type of person. You have to have a certain sort of mindset to be with that woman the first place. And you understand her work ethic, that this person is hardworking, she's a go-getter. And so when you find yourself in that place, it's not a fight of wills.
You realign.
So you are there, I'm here, and I'll be your support. I'll be with you in any way that you want me to support you. But, there's also this new crop of young men. And I think that's where many people go. There's a new crop of young men who eye the girls with the money. And are looking for how they can get it, So I think that is why many people would question it. Why is he doing this? Is he doing this to support her, or is he doing this because he loves...
Let me throw this angle in, because when you marry somebody, I'll come to you, Toyin. When you marry somebody, it's not just about that person. It's about you're marrying family, to the society. So it's not just this man that's entering the house. It's the fact that the entire family will come to, so we are in the wife's house. And they come and they sit down in the house and they're feeling, how comfortable can I sit? Can I be comfortable with the way this is our wife's house? So it's the perception of how society will see, how your children will also perceive you as a husband, because they feel like, this is mommy's house. And because when emotions come, there'll be times when you fight. Normal couples fight. So the woman sometimes might not throw it back. This is my house, you walk out. That happens. Your children see that. Family members see that. So these are the kinds of things that happen that people say, why would you move into your wife's house?
So I was going to say, it's like, don't let them drag you, because we not living in, we're not Europeans. We're not living in the Western world where, we're equal partners in this relationship, 50-50. Everything is 50-50. No, we live in a country where we are very, very intertwined with families and culture, and you cannot just come and you don't want to embarrass yourself, and sometimes you cannot avoid the embarrassment that will happen because some little things, and it might not even be a direct attack on your person, but the interpretation of your culture will take it that maybe because it's not my house. There are things you say, I don't want this thing here. I don't want it here. It's not your house. Yeah. They can give you back. That's what's learning. They have dragged you on the ground. Yes. When you say, I don't like the way this TV is positioned, they say, is it your house? Then they have dragged you on the ground. Because you know the standard manly behavior. You're borrowing the place.
I disagree.
So it's a different thing if you... There's a thing about being a man, and many of our men culturally derive their confidence from ownership. I own this house. I paid for your marriage. Like I am in charge. It's my place. I'm responsible. When you take that from him, then you must really be able to show it up in many other ways.
You now show it up. You are giving him house to move in. Then you now have to show up his life.
Nigeria.
People are very funny.
Just made your life easy for you, so that you can
apart from making it easy, we're a team. That's one. Second, let's talk about this culture that we like to pick up, once in a while.
Cherry pick.
Today we are Christians. Tomorrow we are cultural.
We are traditionalists.
So culture evolves as we evolve, and we understand. There are so many women now in their husbands' houses. They're the ones paying rent. They're the ones paying fees. So the only thing that in name, he may be the one that owns the house, but everything to maintain that house, to get it running, a woman is already doing, and she's doing it with so much respect for that man. Why do we assume that because a man has moved into a woman's house, unless she's ordinarily that sort of rude,
naturally
ungrateful, you know, sort of person, she would not treat him that way just because she lives in his house. And we have those sort of men too that do it to women.
Yeah.
Because you live in my house, any small fight, they put your this in Ghana must go
and throw it out.
I heard that's not right to say that bag and throw the person out. Every 2 fights, every 2 minutes you fight, you throw the person out. But that does not say anything. It's not about the marriage. It's not about the institution of marriage or because that person's house. It's that person's personality. Yeah. And I believe that a woman who decides, a woman of a certain class, of certain wealth, decides to marry a man, there are a lot of thoughts that you put into it.
So, Mariam, thank you for taking us there. And I want us to address, I'll come to BC now, I want us to address the parts of family. So the man-A-B relationship, both of you might be able to work it out. When you have aunties coming over, mothers coming over, family members coming over, where they don't feel that freedom to, okay, this is my brother's house, I'm going to the kitchen, I'm having open in the fridge, I'm comfortable. They feel that, hey, these are here, let me just stay here before they go outside, you know.
Honey.
So that freedom family likes to have.
Honey.
This is our house, our
honey,
home.
If you can't come to my house and be comfortable, stay in your house. I think it's time men need to stand up and create their boundaries. So I'm not marrying the whole village. I'm not marrying I'm marrying your family. And the fact that I've married you, I've married everything you're coming with. Okay. I've married your property. Any car you have before I married you as a man belongs to me. Right. It belongs to you. Everything I have from now onwards belongs to you also. Yeah. So we are a team. We are working together. It's ours. So if my family members want to come to the house and feel because it's the woman that, you know, owns this house, and they want to come and rub shoulder, please, you cannot cause confusion in my house. Me and my wife, we love each other. And if you cannot comport yourself, do not come. It's not by force.
Let me put the example. So she's my sister.
The two father-in-laws.
Yeah. So the two father-in-laws.
The two
mother-in-laws are around. They're in the guest room. You know.
Well, it's not rocket science. How are they doing now in a woman living in a man's house?
Exactly. How do they behave when they come?
The woman humbles herself.
Because it's a man's house, that's not true. A woman who is submissive is submissive. A woman who has character has character. A woman who has ability to respect the man has that ability. Whether you are bringing in more or you're not bringing in more. Let's not allow society dictate to us how we want to run.
Right. I mean, let's Dr. Moyo, are you there? Hello?
Hello?
You're live.
Hello?
Go ahead, please.
This is Dr. Moyo. Calling from Moyo.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
The truth is, every relationship, every experience, every reality differs.
Yes.
We don't all come from the same place. We don't see things the same way.
Yeah.
So, whatever you can't compare, or you cannot try to compare your relationship with what works for other people. We are all different.
Yeah.
And our experiences in marriage are different. So, if it is what works for them, if it not works for them, everybody should face their life. Everybody with their own cross, everybody should carry their cross to their relationship work and whatever. But I don't think, please, because this one was, and then tell your in-laws or tell your parents, please, as you're coming to my house, please, I don't want you to disrespect my husband, I don't want you to disrespect my wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please, show them in a loving way.
Exactly. Boundaries.
Not in a way that will aggravate conflict.
Right.
Tell them, and the husband too should tell the people, so that everybody will know their boundaries and their space.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Moyo. I've shared this story a million times on this show. That I attended a wedding. They didn't tell me I was at the wedding. They wore turquoise blue. That was their shabby. I will never forget. That day I was at Calverton. I don't want to give too many details.
No, don't say the story.
If I'm not saying the story again.
No, but you said the story several times. I even know the story.
I didn't want to.
I help out the story because I'm trying to remember.
I was there, and we had a great time. My mom was there. That night, the marriage scattered because the wife has a house in VGC. Husband lives in Idukweju, I think. And it was like, okay, we're all going to Idukweju. And wife said,
they didn't discuss before.
That day, they only got separated. But maybe I'm sure afterwards, maybe eventually.
But they did not go home that day.
That night, there was issue. But maybe eventually they sorted it out. But that night, there was commotion because they couldn't decide whose house they were going to stay in at that night.
So I wanted to say that, please, we mustn't take away our culture and we mustn't take away our upbringing.
Which
yes,
culture?
we've westernized the beats. Yes, we want to modernize ourselves, but our nurturing wires into our head that the man takes care of the woman. So in most cases, even the most humble, like the one that the woman is very, very humble like this, if she's bearing the brunt of financial burden of the house, inside her, she will still feel like the man should be the one to handle it. That's the truth that we must all acknowledge to ourselves. So women want to contribute. We don't mind contributing. But if we are carrying that burden, it would come up. You might not say it, but you will feel it. Sometimes you might just say it, or like unplanned, it will just drop from your mouth like that. It will jabber. So when we have cases where a man can do little things like, let me pay the rent. Just give me, let's rent out this your mansion. Give it to me.
Rent is not little.
Let me pay the rent. Bring this, your mansion is good. It's our resources. Let us rent it out. Pay. Give me that. At a point, I'm able to, maybe over time, we'll move into this. I can do it. But for now, as we're getting married, just let us live within my means for now. And it helps the man to get into that space.
So you say the woman should move into the man's flat.
Yes.
While he's able to. Okay, I'll come to you, Miriam. Let me take this call. Hello, are you there? Nkem?
I don't have you.
Hello?
Nkem, are you there? You're live.
Yeah, good morning, lady.
Morning. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so much I appreciate the topic you guys are discussing today.
Let's hear him. Oof. Please, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Nkem, please go ahead. We can hear you. And please don't listen to your TV. Listen to me.
Yeah, I so much appreciate the topic you people are discussing this morning.
Right.
It is very, very, very important. It is very, very, very important in the sense that it has to do with families. Hello?
Hi. We can hear you, Nkem.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Hello?
Sorry.
You are listening to the TV.
He's listening to the TV, that's why. I have to disconnect the call because you're listening to the TV. All right, yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that culture that you keep referring to and westernization. That if we read the history of Western people, they had that culture of the man moves into the house. I mean, the woman moves into the man's house. The man takes care of the woman, you know. And time and circumstances has brought them to this point. That does not mean that even in the Western culture, they don't have where the man is the owner of a house and the woman moves in. But they also understand that when the circumstances that they find themselves, they have figured it out. Some of us will do 50-50. Some of them will do that the woman is able to provide more. Now, concerning paying the rent, come and stay with me. I don't think this, especially when we're not talking about that you live in a 2-bedroom and I live in a 1-bedroom. We're talking mansion to 3-bedroom. How many years rent are you hoping to
pay before you can get yours? Yeah, before you can
before
build
you not put the money towards building.
That comment is disrespectful to the man.
Wait.
I can take it as the man can take that.
Let me finish. How many years? So this is disrespectful to the woman too. If you think it's about let me pay this rent enough time so that I can build you a mansion. We're not competing on mansion here, mister. That is first and foremost. I'm marrying you because this is what you can. This is what I gain from you. You bring in your presence, your energy, many things. It may not be money. And that's the thing about men when they find themselves in a woman that, with a woman that has so much more. After all, sometimes it's not the woman, it's the woman's family that may have so much. And the man is finding his feet in that place. And he comes and he does things for that, his wife, provides things for her in a way that even money is not enough. He supports her business. He's her greatest cheerleader. Anything that she needs to do, he plugs all the holes. She doesn't even have any issues because she knows her husband has got it. So it's not about the rent and I'm living in a big house, you're living in a small house. The woman that decided that I want to be with you and marry you, knowing she has a mansion and you have a 3-bedroom.
Let me even add to your own bit. Is that you discountenance all the efforts a woman has made and bring it to naught.
Because of rent money. Because of rent money.
That to build this mansion. We don't say because I'm not going to get married. Now
because of the status of marriage.
Bring it to the small apartment.
Because you
so
have
all
to
that
have
work
a
she's done all her life is nothing.
No, because we need to have a head.
The head is not the head of rent.
Let me take this call.
Head of many things.
Hello, good morning. Are you there? Joshua, are you there?
Good morning, I'm here.
It's not easy, I know. Hi, Joshua. Go ahead. You're live.
All right, first time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm an addict fan of your View program.
Thank you, sir.
And today's topic is a very lovely one.
Thank you,
the
sir.
truth is, most times before marriage, there should be some discussions that need to be engaged in. You know, she agreeing to marry a man, you're agreeing to come to his own level. You're going to respect him as his person. It is fine. Then in the process of this discussion, there should be a means where you begin to say things that if my family comes, because definitely in Africa, we do this marriage of a thing where families are involved to an extent. So if they visit, how do we reason with them? How do we accommodate them? If it's in the man's house, you see how the man wants to push his people. If it's the woman's house, that thing would definitely come up one day if they don't have a concrete discussion about it. So some women, no matter how loyal they want to be, there's going to be a time where that human nature will spring forth. They'll say, it's my house. I choose who comes in. I do this. I do this. I just, we are African. We are human. We should not overrule or we should not neglect that human nature sometimes.
Thank you very much. Let me take BC here.
That assumption is because we're Africans, our women are disrespectful when they are paying the bills. That's just what I heard. I think it's very wrong. I think we're having the assumption that she could have, lured him or coerced him into coming into the house. What if it was the man's idea? That say, well, this is my 3-bedroom. I think I like your space more. Why don't we stay here for a bit? We don't know the conversations they've had. Why don't we stay here for a bit and see how things go? I can rent off that place or give it to one of my family members and let's work from here. Since most of your businesses are around here, it's easier for you. I can juggle. What if they had that conversation? And she was like, I don't want people to talk. He said, no, it's fine. We always want to attach confidence to the man's ability to provide, the man's ability to pay for rent, provide fees, provide small things. Not all men are that insecure. Some men, they will come with empty pockets and they know that they are the man. And they will assert their authority. You cannot tell me, I'm your husband. Your property is my, I married you. I married you. So you can't tell me this is my house, get out, except we are having a divorce or something. So some men need to work on their confidence and ask yourself, what is the long-term plan? What long-term plan do we have for the success of this family? Who needs to make what sacrifice? We need to have that conversation. And I had it when I was just starting. We need to make some certain sacrifices. Let me give you a very interesting and intriguing gist. When I was in the school accommodation, after a while, they had to move me inside girls' campus. My husband cannot stay alone, so he moved in with me. He will wake up early in the morning, around 2 a.m. to take his bath. Yes, to take his bath. So that nobody will see him in the bathroom. And then he will run inside. He did it gladly. He did not send anybody. People were gossiping me in school that, these ones, they don't have anything. At that time, they were gossiping me. I was bigger than most of them, but they didn't know. Humility was there. He was confident enough to know, I want to be with my wife. We have a plan. And today, that plan has materialized. So create your own culture and don't listen to what anybody has to say. It's your life.
Man like Uche is not common. So know yourself. Man like Uche is not common. Our husband's name is Uche. Man like Uche is not common. So know yourself.
Let me take Pastor Labi from Edo State. Pastor Labi, are you there? Pastor Labi, are you there?
Yes, I'm with you.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think you are very intelligent, and I give kudos to TVC station by playing you guys. So you are too much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I think as a pastor, I'm learning seriously from you today. But there's one thing that is missing. You are educated. It's not all women that are educated. Some women are not educated, and that character is there that what you don't expect that women can do, they will do it. So I have a similar experience even in my ministry today, in my church. A woman owns a house, the husband is living there, any little thing, pack up. So is this actually, I'm not telling you, I'm handling the case of right now. That's why this topic that somebody asked you to bring out this.
Thank you very much, Pastor Labi. And let me read this message. Thank you very much, Pastor. Let me read this message. This is a man. Hi, Murayo. I'm 57 years old. I've been married for 20 years. And the first 10 years of a marriage, I stayed in my house, my wife's 3-bedroom flat. And it was tough. When we fight, sometimes she reminds me of the fact that I'm staying in her house.
Wow.
Today, I've been able to build a 5-bedroom house for us. I would not say I regret the first 10 years, but I know as a man, it gives me confidence and pride that I have my own house today.
That's bad.
That's
because you can't take that out. And when Bisi shared that story, because I know her husband, man like Uche is not common. It's not common. There are not many. You know, it is, and so also women that would foot the bill at home and be humble. They are not common. The majority of women that foot the bill, they are proud. They are proud. Okay. They will throw it out. And the majority of men, when they are in the position where they have to depend on their wives, the majority of them they don't like it. It doesn't feel good. So when we talk about this topic, we must consider our ecology. Where are we? And how the majority of us, how are we brought up? Right. I wasn't brought up to be the one to pay the bills. I was brought up to expect my dad took care of my mom and my husband should take care of me. So if I have to fill in the gap, I will do it. But my everyday prayer is, Oga, take over. Yeah. You know, so that's the reality of what we expect.
Let me take Favor and come to Mariam. Favor has been holding up. Don't worry. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. My take on the issue is that confidence is inbuilt. It's supposed to come from within. Nobody builds your confidence for you. I don't see anything wrong with a man living with his wife as long as the wife is respectful and as long as the wife knows that he's her husband. A respectful woman is going to be respectful whether she bought the house or not. That is one. Then, can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly, Favor. Very.
Hello?
Can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, a woman is going to be respected whether she bought the house or not. Then a man, there are still instances of men that they built the house and then any small thing, when they have issues with their wife, they'll tell her, get out of my house. In fact, I'm sending you back to your father's house. It's a marriage. The two of them are supposed to be one. A couple is one. So whoever owns the house for everybody. Then the instance you gave, Mariah, about a man's family coming to the house and not feeling comfortable. There are families in Nigeria, that they know that the money comes from their brother's wife or from their wife, and they confidently spend the money, and they request for the money without thinking of her. So they believe that anything that belongs to their brother's wife belongs to their brother, so it belongs to them. So a family is going to feel comfortable no matter who owns the house.
Thank you very much, Favor. So if you are bad, you're inherently bad. It's not about
so
the
it's
situation.
Not about, yeah.
Go ahead, Mariam.
So I just, Tokwe, you mentioned how it's not everyone that's like, not every man that is like Uche. But then we need to talk about the Uches so that other men will learn, so that young boys who are watching will know that a man can still be a man while being this way. Because we need to put that narrative that a woman will love and respect you, even when you find yourself in circumstances where you cannot handle some bills for a time. And when we talk about, and also I want to use this today to shout out to all the women that are holding down their homes.
Yes,
God, we have, whether we like it or not,
with humility.
Many Nigerian homes are held down by women. They are paying bills, they are paying rent, they're doing everything. They're even dressing the man up, and they do not talk about it, and they do not disrespect. Many of us even come from such homes. So many times when we talk about this issue and say, hey, a woman will call a man out, but you're forgetting the thousands and hundreds of thousands of women that are not calling any man out. And they are also praying and helping in supporting that man's business so that it gets to a point where he's able to pick up, take the burden of her. So the Nigerian woman is not a disrespectful woman. She's not a lazy woman. She's not a woman that is just looking for who to call out and who to drag. She's a woman that is willing to support her man. And we're also calling out to men. You can be a man and to be loved and respected even when the circumstances, it's just financial. What is finances? You sort it out as long as you're focused.
In addition to that, you see, a woman will support a man who is ambitious.
Yes, who has focus.
Who is working towards something. There are men who are couch potatoes. They don't want to, they are comfortable that, you're getting me, bringing in the cheddar, the cheese. Okay, you know what, I'm here. But for people like the husbands that we've seen, they are working hard at it.
Yes.
They're not just saying, they're hustling.
Yes.
So for a woman to respect you wholeheartedly, even though she's bringing in the bills, you need to see that you are doing something.
Yes.
That you are working towards something, even though it doesn't materialize. The fact that you are working so hard at it, that in itself will make a woman humble.
Yeah.
So
I should be praying for you.
The ideal situation is the ideal situation is on ground. On one side, we know what the ideal should be. Man pays the bill, man owns the house, all of that. And when you find yourself in the other situation where you are having to depend on your wife in some areas, it shouldn't emasculate the man. Like, it shouldn't make him start feeling like, oh, and one of the challenges, and I know the pastor alluded to it, that sometimes we read meanings because of our background. We're not dealing with the situation. We are giving it an interpretation based on our background. So you might say what, and in my head, what I heard is, what, shut up. When what you said was just what. So because I am carrying my own baggage of my mindset, so I'm not just listening to, so the girl might not be saying anything.
I will give an example. Let me take the Nnamdi. Are you there? Oh, Douglas, I do apologize. From Germany. Hi, Douglas. Hello, Douglas. Douglas, German network. Are you there, Douglas?
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
You can hear me. Go ahead, please. I can hardly hear you, though.
Yeah, my name is Douglas, and I'm calling from Germany.
The volume is very low.
Interesting topic you're discussing now. One thing I see here is sexism. Sexism. Because, let's even go to the Bible. The Bible makes statement of marriage. It says, a man will leave the parents, the woman will leave the parents, and both of them will come together. It did not even say where they are going to. It said two of them will join themselves. So whether it's the man that is having the house or the woman is having the house, it's inconsequential. The problem here is that the men always want to have a comfort zone, a place where they will a kind of control and dominate. So it's a problem for the man's complex, because they always want to control. So if they are going to the wife's house and they lose that their comfort zone, that their control, that their dominance, and they are not able to tell the woman, hey, this is my house. They don't want it. So a man going to the wife's house is a kind of losing dominance, and it should be a problem that we should try to change. Orientation is what we need here. We should understand that the marriage is for the man and the woman, not the man to take control or the woman to take control.
Thank you.
You see, I was going to give an example, because in the early days of my marriage, so my husband hadn't started working at the time, and I bought mangoes. I bought plenty mangoes, right? And I left in the house, I went to work. By the time I came back, my husband had finished all the mangoes. Oh, I was livid, because he wanted to eat mangoes. Now, I was mad because I wanted to come home. I had thought I bought mangoes and I go now have for dinner. He finished it because he wanted to finish it. So we had a huge fight because he felt that I was making noise about it because I had the money to buy it. Is it because he considered that
wasn't what?
And that wasn't it. So there was a huge fight over mango. I mean, this is the fight that my mother had to come in. Everybody had to discuss. Hey, mother had to pay mango fight. Let him eat it now. It's not just mango. You buy another one now. What's your problem?
But your one was like, it should have remained for me.
I bought the hair. I'm the man of the house. I finished the mango hair so. But as a man of the house, he felt that he had that dominance to finish the mango because he's the man of the house. I was the person that bought the mango. I'm like, uncle, at least leave for me. So it's the ability to play that the emotions of the moment. Like, okay, yes, he hasn't gotten a job yet. Yes, your husband is not yet there. He's working at it. But even you are the one bringing it. You must know how to play down that feeling of, I am the one that bought it.
And sometimes, I said something about the way we hear. What you say is not what the person is hearing.
That's what I was trying to do.
So
That's the example I was trying to
the person hearing, you might have said it in terms of, why did you finish everything?
You should have kept
for me. Yes. But what he heard was, I bought it and you finished it.
Yes.
That's what he heard.
That
wasn't what you said.
Because I bought it. Yes.
So it's now a case of, there's likely going to be that sensitivity if there is imbalance in income. So we now, it will put pressure on the marriage if communication isn't strong and you talk out all the problems. It might start festering over time. So much that when the other person has money, you now say, when you had every small thing, you will say, I'm eating 3 meats, I'm eating 4 meats.
But I buy a basket of mango today and say, but he'll just
eat your mango. So I think, when we mention culture is the man that's supposed to take care of the woman. And I'm wondering, are we Christians today now on this show, or we are now pagans, or I don't know our traditional today, because we pick our religion every day on the show, depending on the topic. But I remember the Proverbs 31 woman. She was hardworking. She did everything. Her husband would sit at the gate and be drinking and be collecting praises because of the work of the wives. And I remember that when God blessed, he blessed them male and female. So once you come together as a marriage, under the covenant of marriage, the blessing is on both the two of you. Anybody's own can pick first. Whoever's own picks first, the other person should be supportive. The other person should understand and find a way to carry that one along till their own blessing picks. So there is no way. No, hold on. Let me tell her. There is no way. There is no way. God said, I have commanded the woman to sit at home and you just be working and taking care of her. God bless male and female. Anyone whose blessings speak, the other person should support that one.
The Jews have a way of their own Christianity, where they've been able to marry their culture with their religion.
It's their own religion.
So our own culture too, our religion. Our own culture too would marry into our religion.
Which religion? Which one?
You choose the one, because there's Islam, there's Muslim. You choose the point I'm trying to make is that whether we like it or not, there's a Christian, there's a Chinese Christian, there's a German Christian.
Their culture.
That is married with their culture. So there's no culture in that Bible. It is the culture that we now
there's a Nigerian Christian.
Yes, based on our culture. Religion, there's something my pastor said. Please, let me just, it's a quote. Said that no matter how Christian you are, if you have a bad culture and a bad environment, it will trump the Christianity in you. That is why in Nigeria, born-again Christians are stealing. They are going to church. They will finish praying and go outside and do bad roads because the culture is bad. So yeah, I know that we need to upgrade some of our culture, but we cannot suddenly start isolating the religion and say, oh, this is religion, this is culture. We must find a way to marry
the Nigerian culture
to go back
to Christianity.
To the point of communicating, especially when a man feels maybe he's being slighted because he's not the one paying the bills. And I think that also happens in the other way around, where a wife feels, oh, so we're not moving to this, we're not buying this house because it is you that has this house. Money. Or my children cannot go to this school because you're the one that's paying the fees, right? And then you make the money, and then every time a man makes a decision, you counteract it. You're not ready to buy the car, I'll buy it. And then, you know, many of us we have encouraged that. In fact, we have, you know, we've given a thumbs up. Like, yes, if you are refusing to do it, the woman can come in and do it. So now the shoe is on the other foot. We're now able to see that it's a lack of communication, that the woman thinks that once she becomes empowered, her going ahead of the man to do everything, just to slight him or to show to him that even I have arrived. So that it is the same for the man. You find yourself in a situation like this. It is not necessarily about what you can provide or the fact that you're not providing, but, you know, like in your case, it's just about leave some for me. We're in this together. You know, it's just mango, but I would like to have a little piece. Look at this time. You know, there's sometimes they say the way you can even tell if a man loves you is that his last piece of meat, he will give you half. So that was the communication. That was the conversation. Yeah, that was the conversation that you were having, but it wasn't about bills. So a woman, when she finds herself in that situation, when a man is doing all the things, and then she finds herself, she's become empowered, she also needs to understand that communication must continue. You know, just showing up.
It sounded like a lot of work. There was a Black American movie, I think, either The Brotherhood or Not Waiting to Exceed. One of those movies, where he left the last piece of cake. And she was like, that's love, you know.
So we have, I'm trying to get this. Engineer Toby Martins.
Beatrice said, it would be nice if you're capable and Toby Martin said, no man in Nigeria is ever comfortable with a woman in a woman's house because it reduces the pride of a man, though it is not easy. Mariam, the majority of women that will not drag a man out there are very, very small. Hybe Samuel says, there is no Proverbs 31 woman, no. It was a question in the Bible, who can find one? So
and they used it to illustrate a very long thing. Most things are questions in the Bible. that are in
leave this Bible, let's discuss real life.
So Pastor Boyewa is facing BC. He said, BC, you forgot that God put the man in the Garden of Eden to direct it, keep it. And it's the duty of the husband to take care of the wife and family. So but somebody else is saying, BC, you are talking, no jare.
If your wife has a 7-bedroom mansion, so what we're saying is that you should forfeit that and move in with you at the 3-bedroom.
No, what we're saying is, if the man is uncomfortable, and he feels he has a family that will put him under a lot of pressure. Really? He should have that conversation with his wife and find a middle ground. Maybe they will turn the 7-bedroom mansion into a business and they will live in a 3-bedroom.
I think hold on please. For me, he's not a man. If you're considering what your family will say in the life you want to live.
No, you're a man.
No, you can't consider. No, you're not isolated now.
I think you're a man. But maybe you should also reconsider marrying someone who is of greater means than you. If you cannot handle it, go and marry the one that you can handle. Exactly. Simple and short. Nobody's forcing you to marry someone that has much more money than you do.
We have to wrap up, ladies. I know it wasn't easy taking that side of the story. Thank you very much for bringing that angle to us. We have to run.
I just want to say, no marriage works without communication. And reduce the communication that each couple is having with external forces. And focus. Let decisions be carried out by communications between the two main parties in marriage. Both husband and wife should not let what my mommy said, what my daddy said, to be the one influencing decisions within marriage. It be between the two of you.
Sometimes not even mommy and daddy. It's what my friends are saying. Don't bother.
You know, it's not easy when your friends just come to the house and you know that all the boys are coming to your wives. All the boys are coming together and it's your wife's house. You know, there's a way you
it's the way they're jealous of you. Yes. They wish they had that. So even my husband says, Mary, I cannot wait for you to start making boys so I can just chill. I mean, men want to chill.
Okay, on that note, we end the show. Thank you, ladies. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.